Hey, I'm John Greaves III. I'm the founder of Garage Gym Life Media. Welcome to Strength Saturday. Strength Saturday is quite simply when we celebrate strength. Either we're showing you a competition where people are displaying their strength, or we are talking to someone who can help you get stronger and better at displaying strength yourself. And today we're going to be talking to John Mauser. And John is a performing strongman. John, thank you for spending some time here with me today.
Oh yeah, no problem. No problem. Glad to be here.
You have a track record not only of competing in strength sports yourself, but you also trained combat athletes, you train obviously fighters, and then you train people as a strength and conditioning coach with a college degree, all right, so as a strength and conditioning coach. So talk about some other movements that you think would be beneficial for let's just call it a modern athlete.
So if we're going to talk about the bench press, you have to talk about the bench press as big brother, two hands anyhow. I think I might be wrong. James Fuller would know. I might be wrong, but I think that the two hands anyhow, oftentimes people could do more with that lift than they could with their clean and jerk. You could actually get more total weight overhead, at least very comparable, right?
Yeah.
And that's saying something because this was not one fixed bar. These are two separate objects being held over your head. So really think about that. If you compare your double dumbbell press to, like, let's say your barbell or axle press or even your log press, that is not the same amount of weight. So to be able to do that with two separate moving objects, I think that's huge. I think people buy all these fancy, and there's nothing wrong with these bars necessarily, but you buy these fancy like bamboo bars, and earthquake bars and stuff to work on your stabilizing muscles. But if it was me, I just do it two hands anyhow and get way more benefit from it, and you don't have to buy anything else.
Literally, I would love to just talk about that topic by itself. And I'm not trying to drive equipment manufacturers out of business. I love equipment. You can see on my wall right here, I got a bunch of stuff. I got more stuff over there that you can't see, more stuff over there. But my default before I buy something is always, can I get the benefits of the thing I want to get from buying this thing with an exercise that I can already do with something I already own, right? And that's my default. And I don't think that a lot of people think that way. I think they immediately say, oh, I need to buy this because I need to be able to, I need this benefit that somebody else talked about. And then they don't go and research, well, what's the effect, the training effect you're looking for? Well, how else could I get it?
Right.
Right. So now you just guaranteed you coming back on because we're going to talk about just that for at least 45 minutes. All right. In fact, I'll make that a live show so we can argue with the internet. All right. But anyway, but continue. I interrupted you.
Oh, it's all good. Yeah. So I think that's a good way to hit your stabilizers, and then you're going to get the same benefit as the bench press if you're doing the two hands anyhow using a bench press, because again, the two hands anyhow is dictated by the weight. So you might just pull one up and bend down, but if usually the biggest, heaviest two hands anyhow was done with a bench press, and then you would kind of curl the next weight up.
The two hands anyhow is another popular lift back turn of the century. Well, I forgot we're in 2020. We're in 2020 now. So the turn of the 19th to the 20th century, this was a very popular lift that people would use to demonstrate their strength.
They'll start this just like a regular bench press.
All right.
You see, I got one foot turned down. You couldn't see that earlier.
Right.
And then the weight dictates if I'm bracing here, if I'm not. A lot of times I don't bother bracing. I just kind of like glide my arm down.
Okay.
But I'm going to dive down to this other weight, press that out. I'll curl this up and hug it tight, stand up,
and then press. Okay. All right. Can you put the camera back where it was before and do the movement again so we can see the top half? I told you, man, you're like 6'9", so we gotta like. we need to get Hannah back in here and have her use the camera and pan with you. But anyway,
is this good?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay. So again, we're just here, regular bench press. Turn it back.
Okay.
I come down. I'm going to curl that up, come up, and then press to finish.
And you said that's very good and that'd be like a stabilizer, a good stabilizer movement, along with the strength stretching effect.
And actually with the two hands anyhow, I think you're getting stabilization, you're getting mobility work with that, especially that rotational. But another key thing I think a lot of people miss the boat on is coordination. The ability to do two things at once, because you got to curl that. That's not what this side's doing, right? When you come up, the weight's unevenly loaded. It doesn't feel the same on both sides. How many times you gone to a competition and seen the weights misloaded?
Yeah.
It happens.
Oh, yeah. It happens in powerlifting.
I'm not saying it happens every show, but accidents happen. And this is one of the things that's going to prepare you for that. If you press that log and it's got 10 more pounds over here and you're used to doing the two hands anyhow, problem solved. Yeah. It's not going to make a bit of difference if there's more weight over here. I can attest, I purposefully will misload stuff and train that. So I can tell you that when I'm doing the two hands anyhow a lot, I misload it unless it's like 100 pounds on this side, you know. But if it's a reasonable misload, it makes no difference to me whatsoever if that happens. That's number one, it's going to help you get the lift. But number two, I honestly think that's going to prevent you from getting hurt in the case of a miss.
Okay. All right. Well, man, I really appreciate the time that you spent here talking to us about this and kind of whetting people's appetite. I hope that they've kind of gotten interested in at least exploring some of the old time lifts. So if somebody wants to hire you or they just want to kind of investigate more about what you do, I know that, you know, the Mauser name is more closely associated with the Mauser block, and which is, you know, gotten very popular thanks to your brother. But I think that there's a lot of stuff that's there for people to glean when it comes to Mauser strength. And so give us all the information about how people can follow your training, keep up with you. If you guys ever decide to do the podcast again, you know, they'll know how to find it.
Yeah, the podcast is it's on a few different platforms, Spotify, Google Play. I think it's on iTunes. Okay. It's also on the website, mauserpower.com. So you can actually just go stream it through there. And we do have, I'll have another season out by the end of the year. As far as just getting a hold of me goes, Instagram is probably the fastest way. And you can see all my stuff and kind of see what I'm about and what I'm doing on Instagram. I'm also on Facebook. If you just look for Mauser Strength or John Mauser, I'll pop up on any of those. I'm also on Twitter. I don't use it a lot, but you can contact me on there. And yeah, that's it so far. I haven't jumped on the 50 different social media platforms yet, but I think we're about to get there because they're springing up left and right.